Hi guys, welcome to a brand new episode of AB in the Films. Alright, let's talk about the Amanda Show for a second. You saw me talk about the Naked Brothers Band a few episodes ago, and I've been watching the DVDs of the Amanda Show recently. Guys, I used to watch this show on Nickelodeon, as I've said in my Teen Nick review a couple of years ago, religiously. I mean, I loved this show. I watched this show more than I watched All That, okay? And when I say All That, I mean the All That after Keenan and Kel got their own show. You know, not the 90s All That, like the early 2000s All That. Which, you know, does have its fan base too. But anyway, we're here to talk about the Amanda Show. For those who have never heard of this show, I'm talking to the young crowd out there. I strongly recommend that you get these 3 DVD season sets because you guys are missing out. This show was on all the time on Nickelodeon back in the day. And this show is now 20 years old, actually. This started in 99, and I remember when it was on, when it was new, like brand new episodes. Amanda Bynes is the host, and of course we have, you know, as the side cast is Drake Bell, Josh Peck, Nancy Sullivan. And by the way, this is before Drake and Josh, you know. Like, I remember when Drake and Josh came out, half the cast I knew from the Amanda Show. You know, because Drake and Josh, I guess you could say Drake and Josh was the spin-off of the Amanda Show, much like the Amanda Show was a spin-off of All That, I guess. But Drake and Josh aren't playing themselves in the show, they're playing different versions of themselves. But here, they're playing themselves. And it's it's another sketch comedy show, the Amanda Show, just like All That. But what made it so funny are the following sketches I'm going to talk about. And, you know, listen, so many great moments from this show. The show was only 3 seasons long, but pretty much every episode I love. Makes me laugh, brings back so many memories from childhood. But these are the sketches that come to mind whenever I think of the Amanda Show, and we're going to go through those right now. Moody's Point.
In a world where nothing seems right,
I'll never find anyone who can understand my tortured teenage soul.
a group of friends deal with their problems.
You know, I really didn't get into the whole Moody's Point sketches when I was young, because I guess I was too young to get it, because I remember watching it and I just thought, oh man, they're taking this way too seriously. But it did have some funny moments. But now that I'm an adult and I've seen Dawson's Creek, and by the way, I love that show, you know, because, you know, this was on back when Dawson's Creek was really, really popular, and they're obviously making fun of, not just Dawson's Creek, but all those dramatic teen soap opera dramas that were on television at the time. They're still on TV, actually, but this is back when they were big. But, you know, I really, you know, watching these now, I find these 10 times funnier than I did 20 years ago when I was a kid. Alright, so, yeah, I definitely had to include the Moody's Point episodes. And by the way, these sketches would take up a good chunk of the episode. Like, if the Amanda Show would start right after the opening, you'd have, like, maybe a sketch or two, and then it would cut to Amanda in front of the audience, and right there, you knew they were going to do a Moody's Point episode, because you're like, oh, it's a Moody's Point episode. And as a kid, like I said, I didn't really get into those that much. I watched it, but it would take up, like, almost the whole episode. You'd swear you were watching a different television show, because this wasn't a sketch. Like, it was, like, maybe, like, a 5, 6, 7, 8 minute long sketch. And each episode of the Amanda Show is, I think, like, 20 minutes. You know, so it would take up a good chunk of the show. But, you know, all the characters, you know, Moody and Sternum. Oh my God, Sternum had one joke, okay? And it was funny every time. Say the exact opposite of what he's being confronted with. Sternum, why are you painting your locker a different color? Why aren't I painting it a different color? That was the joke every single time. And Oh man, that was so fun. And then also a young Taron Killam, before he was on SNL.
Does my breath smell fresh?
No.
And their pain.
Mother! I wish I were elsewhere.
Amanda Bynes is
Moody.
Moody. Moody.
Yeah, you are.
Man, like it's really funny watching it now as an adult. Next one.
Hey, we're back.
That's right. Welcome to the Dare Show.
The only cable access show who take your dares,
No matter how bad they are.
and we do them.
Okay, this was a sketch that they did quite a bit, I think in the second and third season. If you don't know, it's a sketch that Drake and Amanda have. They play brother and sister, and they're having... they're doing a Dare show live, but it's the little things that they say in this. Like, well, just watch it.
Let's take our first dare. Boston, Illinois. You're on the Dare Show.
San Francisco, Tennessee, you're on the Dare Show.
I dare you to eat some of Toby's hair.
How can you not be puking?
I don't know.
So they did this sketch a couple times, but the one time that I literally laughed out loud was the time when they had Josh as one of the callers.
Yeah, I dare Toby to put on a bra and stuff it with macaroni and cheese.
Ain't gonna happen. Dude.
I'm sorry. I just didn't realize that you were a lawyer.
What, punk?
He's a liar because he said he'd do any dare. Liar!
Look, you can say whatever you want because there is no way.
Liar! Liar, liar! It's a liar! Oh, where's the liar? Oh, look right there! There's Toby! Right there! Whoa!
Watch this. Oh man, I cannot believe I just did that.
Who wants a trash cone? Trash cones? Gimme!
Okay, of all the commercial ads that they did of these products, this one is by far the funniest in my opinion, and for one reason only. Kyle Sullivan. This kid, I think this was before he was on All That, but what he's doing in this commercial for the trash cone machine, it is so random and does not make any sense. It has nothing to do with what they are trying to sell in this commercial. And that's what makes it funny.
Who wants a snack?
You mean like ice cream? Or tuna? Trash cones! Make garbage a snack!
The particular time that I'm talking about in this sketch is when you hear these voices singing the song about the trash cone, and they have nothing to rhyme with the words, so Kyle Sullivan will come in and say the most random thing just so it rhymes with whatever they're talking about, but it has nothing to do with the product.
You just get some trash. Then you pour it in the top. Then you press the red button.
I found a mop!
Really funny. Next one.
The girl's room.
This was so funny every single time. And they did this a few times, and of course every time was funny, but my favorite one that they did, I think, would have to be Amber's birthday, when Tammy brings in the cake, and Josh comes out of it, and Josh starts doing this.
Okay, whoa. Stop it. Stop.
Next one.
We got a problem here.
Yaga, welcome to our video store.
Yeah, this was another one they did. This is obviously a sketch parodying the video store Blockbuster that we all know, we all love. I wish Blockbuster was still around. I miss those days. The one sketch that I like that they did with Blockbuster was now for those who don't know, this sketch was they have all these movies that everybody knows, but it's basically like Be Kind Rewind. If you've seen the movie Be Kind Rewind, but this was before Be Kind Rewind, so you wonder. Amanda and Drake play these two siblings. Their father runs this video store, and they're the stars in all of these movies, and the titles are different, and they're terrible actors, and the effects are terrible. And it's the same thing over and over again. You know, like an angry customer comes in, I rented this movie, but I got this. And they go, oh, no, you didn't ask for that. You asked for that. And it's like a different spin on the title. And then they play the video, and it's just them in front of the camera, like dead-eyed, looking at the camera and saying the lines, and they're terrible at it, and it's just... And they're applauding at the end, they're like, yeah, this movie better, much better! And then the angry customer leaves, but the funniest moment out of that sketch, if you've seen iCarly, the guy who plays Lubert in iCarly, he was in a couple of other Dan Schneider shows. By the way, this is another Dan Schneider show, The Amanda Show. When he came in, oh man, like I don't know if he's obviously not playing Lubert because this is years before iCarly, but it's pretty close.
How am I to be helping you?
Am I mad that I didn't get X-Men? Did I? No!
No. You don't ask for X-Men. You ask for F-Men.
I despise this movie!
How you'll be paying me?
How will I be paying you?
I think it means she crazy.
Okay, there's a lot of Drake and Josh moments in the Amanda Show that I thought were really well. And again, you can see why they ended up getting their own show a couple of years later after the Amanda Show. But the one moment that I remember is when Penelope, who is Amanda's #1 fan, and by the way, she was always a riot. Every time Penelope came out, that was always funny. www.amandaplease.com. She would say the word please every third sentence. I mean, like, that was her thing, you know? But one of the opening sketches that I really liked was the one where Penelope's talking to Josh backstage, and she's trying to get rid of Drake, and she keeps pronouncing his name wrong. She keeps calling him Blake. And she's telling Josh, you know, you can get rid of him and you can be the star. You can be the center of attention. You won't have to be in his shadow anymore. And Josh starts thinking about what the show would look like if he replaced Drake as all these characters that Drake's playing, and then after Josh is thinking about it, he says this.
Well, how do we get rid of Blake?
That's just, I don't know, I just always find that funny. That's one of the funniest moments on the show. Next one.
Alright, listen up. I'm looking for my girl, Candy Tulips.
He's looking for his girl, Candy Tulips. What's that for?
For being an idiot.
Okay.
Tony Pajamas has made a lot of appearances throughout the Amanda Show. In various sketches, actually. Like this was a popular character that Drake played on the Amanda Show. But there were two sketches, and they're both the same thing, but they're like in different scenarios, where he plays Tony Pajamas, who's a gangster. This is obviously, I think, parodying The Sopranos, I think. I could be wrong. And Josh is Paulie. He's the guy that's like always with Tony, you know, whenever they have to go into the school, and it always takes place at the school. But he's dating this girl Candy, who's Amanda. But the two moments that I thought were hysterical with Drake and Josh's Tony Pajamas and Paulie was both sketches. One of them was when Tony thinks Candy's cheating on him.
So, who you been going out with?
What's it to ya?
I asked the question.
I can date anyone I wanna. Maybe I'm dating Claude here.
What?
No, I'm not going out with her. I never date Candy.
What? What's wrong with them?
Yeah, what's wrong with what's wrong with me?
And the second one is when Candy gets in trouble and goes to the principal's office. And Tony shows up, and all Tony's asking Paulie to do is to open up the briefcase. And this happens.
Mr. Pajamas.
Pajamas!
He don't like you, Miss Penelope.
And I say Candy's not in trouble. Oh, would you open a stick your briefcase already?
Why didn't you say so?
What's that for?
For being an idiot.
Okay.
So those sketches, yeah, love those. Love them ever since I was a kid. They're still hilarious 20 years later. Next one.
Hello, Mr. Oldman.
Yes, who's calling my phone?
Well, this is Sally Poofenduff.
But I'm not familiar with any Sally Poofin-da-doofin-da-duffin.
Okay, Amanda did this a lot with Mr. Oldman, and I think my favorite one would probably have to be the one with the meatloaf.
Is Mr. Oldman there?
I told you already, I'm speaking.
What you doing?
I'm waiting to hear your question. Oh, right meatloaf.
Okay, all of those were funny, but I think the greatest sketch in the entire run of The Amanda Show was the one where they play this game called Stranded. Not the one when they get stranded in the bathtub. I'm talking about the one when they're stranded in a car. If you haven't seen this one, and again, it's hard to find. I don't think it's on YouTube. But, okay, 6 characters from the sketches of the show are stranded in a car. They're stuck in a car. They can't leave the car. The last person standing in the car, or sitting in the car, really, is going to be a millionaire. You win $1 million if you're the last one in the car. So, I don't want to ruin it for you if you haven't seen it, but if you have seen it, I think we can all agree maybe this one's in the top 5 funniest sketches of the show. For me, this is the funniest one they've ever done. This is the best one. In fact, when I was buying the Amanda Show season sets, there's no episode description, you know, so I just had to keep watching episodes, and finally I found it. It's in the 2nd season, but, oh man, when they're stranded in the car, and the way they, oh man, like, I don't want to ruin it for you if you haven't seen it. The ending of that sketch is one of the funniest things ever, but I don't want to ruin it for you, but stranded in a car, I mean, if you've seen the Amanda Show, the one when they're stranded in a car, that was the funniest one ever. So yeah, so those are my thoughts on the Amanda Show, and I might do Drake and Josh moments in a little bit. I might do that. So, that's all I got to say about the Amanda Show. And if you guys haven't seen this show, I strongly recommend that you pick up these 3-season DVD sets on Amazon. You can get them on Amazon.com. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the Amanda Show, and I will see you guys in the next review. Later.
Amanda, please.